Hello and welcome to Red Alert 3 Cabana Republic. Who is the purple Soviets on the right side? Why, that is Tingu. And who's the green Soviets on the left side? Not Tingu again, it's Kivi. So we got Kivi, Tingu, and this game is supposedly absolutely epic. And look at that. Both of these players, mirror matchup, going basically the same thing almost at the exact same time, although the difference is in the bears. But this game received a lot of wubs and possibly Hall of Fame status. That's been slightly debated. But this game is supposed to be absolutely awesome, so I figured I'd give it a look, see what all the buzz is about, and share it with you as well. If you have seen this game already, I apologize, as this game has been floating around for probably at least a week. So I'm a little bit late on the cast, but regardless, we're going to see how this goes. So, standard early infantry, we got engineers out of both of these players, going for that oil derrick, that's pretty standard there, and, yep, 2 oil or refineries out of our players. The real question is, of course, what will they follow this up with? It does look like Tingu going for lots of infantry. The middle of this map is quite good for garrisons, although, you know, conscripts can clear buildings, so it can lead to early deaths between many early infantry. But for the most part, we have, you know, players like to kind of take this middle ground. It does give scouting and also a little bit of map control. You can cut off some units there, or, you know, do some additional damage, hold units up here while your reinforcements show up. We do have War Factory and Terror Drones. Terror Drones not going to be super effective right now, and we do have Kivi did go War Factory before Super Reactor. Tingu not opting to go for the Super Reactor quite yet, going to be expanding to this northern expansion. And so, Kivi will be able to get out hammer tanks earlier, but his economy won't be quite as strong as Tingu's, assuming that there's no real economic damage either way. Of course, you know, whatever player is able to do some economic damage, they will, you know, have the lead most likely. But that Super Reactor is done. We do have Terror Drones out of both of these players, and I'm sure that they know that their opponent is going to be walled in, although Terror Drone inside of the MCV could be, and don't you hate that? The MCV just crushes your own walls for no reason, just because of the bad pathing. But if this Terror Drone did get inside of that MCV, that could be a bit problematic for Kivi, but Terror Drone's mostly just for scouting in this situation. As at this level of play, it is so rare to see these refineries not walled off. And yeah, Kivi has moved his MCV. Tingu has seen that. Tingu already got his refinery going down, almost finished. Most likely will follow that up with a Super Reactor. I can't imagine him doing anything else. That would be kind of weird to, like, double pump War Factory and still no Super Reactor, so no hammer tanks. Locking down the sickle with the Terror Drone, but, you know, this other sickle will just walk over here and be able to clean that Terror Drone up. No, we do have a hammer tank. Hammer time out of Kivi, going to be able to destroy these 2 sickles, especially. Good use of this Terror Drone, locking that second one down, not able to escape. Basically, a flawless victory for Kivi, although you can see Kivi's sickle did take a little bit of damage from Tingu, and even locking down that Terror Drone was going to see if he could lock down that ore harvester, as that would give Tingu a significant advantage in the money. But we do have Super Reactor, followed up by Airfield, and most likely, nope, not a hammer tank. Here we go, there's the hammer tank. So, of course, Tingu wants to be able to match the hammer tanks of his opponent so that he doesn't get totally owned, as that would not be the best thing in the world. Terror Drone getting locked down, or locking down these units a little bit. Good micro out of Tingu being able to lock down both of these units with that one Terror Drone, waiting for his hammer tank to show up, and just continually zapping these units. And now this hammer tank is actually going to be taking some damage from this hammer tank and from the sickle at the same time. So not sure how this is going to really end, but now it does look like, well, now we got Terror Drones infesting this hammer tank. So I'm not sure who's going to end up winning this match, because now we have both of these tanks leeching off of each other, but then this tank is infected with a Terror Drone, and so this tank can, you know, once it dies, it'll infect that tank, or I don't even know. But we do have another Terror Drone. No, Kivi was able to lock that. No, Tingu was able to lock that down. but we do have another MCV moving out, and good way to deal with Terror Drones is, of course, Twin Blades, as you know, you can't infect air units, but he has revealed that Twin Blade, so now Kiwi knows, hey, there's Twin Blades, need to probably get out some Bullfrogs, which he actually already has Bullfrogs. He might throw down a Flak Cannon. That might be overkill depending on how many Twin Blades Tingu decides to get out, and that Terror Drone was able to infect the MCV, so that will be rather problematic for Tingu. We'll have to keep an eye on that, see how much damage it is able to do, see what becomes of that, and we do have Tingu, on the other hand, throwing down his Terror Drone all over the place, but we do have now MiGs, so MiGs to match, I'm assuming, yes, MiGs out of Kiwi, because Kiwi did see those Twin Blades. His response is probably going to be MiGs as it is, but now we have Terror Drones infecting everything on this map. Kiwi doing a good job with his Terror Drones. I do not think Tingu has been able to get a single infection, and this MCV may very well go down. There is no Crusher Crane to repair that, and I'm not exactly sure. Oh, the splash damage on those MiGs. Well, both of them escape, as Tingu did lose one MiG there, and I think both of his MiGs will escape, but now, man, the splash damage on that MiG, and now this MiG is here to chase Tingu's MiG off, and no, the MiG will go down. But the splash damage on those MiGs from Tingu, this MCV will most likely go down, as there is not a whole lot Tingu can do about that, but now Tingu is going to be doing some economic damage as well as some more economic damage over here. Was not able to eliminate everything and eliminate anything, and did lose one, no, not the second Twin Blade. So those MiGs, I wouldn't think that they would be out of ammo, but they might just be. We're going to see, I guess, Tingu actually kind of has this area locked down, basically owns this section right now, although this, that Terror Drone could be very destructive for Kiwi. It could be destructive in that it will kill off the sickle and then be able to kill off that hammer tank. That will be the end of that. Tingu might be able to get the, no, he will not with the Twin Blade there, he won't be able to kill the refinery, which is a bit sad for him. So Kiwi looking to be in decent shape, especially if this MCV does in fact go down, which I'm not sure how it couldn't, because there's no Crusher Crane. But I think Tingu is looking to be in a pretty bad spot. He's going to have to rebuild that MCV if he wants that build queue, or he could just continue to power units, as the only thing he does not have is, well, he can't expand, which is a pretty big deal, but he also does not have that secret, or that tech lab. And no, we do have starting to expand, although no actual unit buildings coming down from Kiwi, as he is dropping down the Crusher Crane, but it does look like we do have an infection from that Terror Drone up on that ore collector, and Kiwi's throwing down that Crusher Crane, possibly will be able to save that ore collector, I'm assuming so, but he will be able to throw down, you know, a refinery there, or move his MCV if he wants, or throw down some base defenses here to help him deal with these hammer tanks from Tingu. But Tingu, I don't know what Tingu can really do, as his MCV is about to go down, cannot redeploy that, but now Ore Collector is going to be getting healed up, and as well as these MiGs, and those MiGs took so much splash damage, I thought for sure Tingu was going to be able to take that in that battle down here, but those MiGs just barely were able to escape, and here goes the MCV. Boom! Wow, this is down. There we go, the MCV finally goes down. My timing was completely off, and that, we do now have a veteran Terror Drone wherever it went. How did I lose that Terror Drone already? What do we have? We got a MiG moving out, and a Twin Blade, and a Bullfrog. This is, you know, Kiwi is looking to be in pretty good shape, especially considering his opponent doesn't have an MCV. Still no MCV, still powering 3 refineries, which Kiwi would be good to expand off of this. You know, okay, just now dropping down his expansion, going to be getting a 4th Ore Collector up. Does cancel a Tesla coil there, so decided to not finish that there. And I don't know where that Terror Drone for. Maybe he, you know, threw it into the Crusher Crane. That'd be kind of strange to do with a. Oh. Oh, okay, I thought he was going to get the super reactor. I was just going to be like, how is Tingu still in this game? Losing the super reactor, losing the MCV, he did that a long time ago. But this terror drone is not going to die, so that twin blade picked up the terror drone and picked up a engineer apparently, dropped them off both over here, or maybe that terror drone just walked over there. Was going to try and, you know, grab the super reactor. Was good for Tingu to just sell those both off, as, you know, once he sold off the one and wasn't able to take out the engineer, he really had no choices. You do not want those units, or those buildings, falling into the hands of your enemies and giving them build radius right at your expansion. We do have a couple of bullfrogs moving in to take care of that twin blade from Kiwi, but Kiwi is just getting further and further ahead, as now Tingu has lost air abilities, and he still doesn't have an MCV. Although I missed that he threw down that super reactor there. No, okay, he does have an MCV, so he did rebuild that. I was thinking, you know, what is he doing not rebuilding the MCV? So Tingu is still solidly in this game, especially since he's back up to that 4 ore refineries to match Tingu, and now we do have satellites raining down from on high, doing a surprising amount of damage to that Tesla coil. And that is the cue for Tingu to go ahead and move in. He is going to try and take down this army. No, he's going to turn around. I mean, he could have at least attacked the Tesla coil. If you can see how dead that Tesla coil is almost, he could just finish that off. And that would be resources lost for Tingu right there. Was able to force that down. Kiwi lost that Tesla coil and may lose this fight, but he's not doing a lot with, you know, his twin blades, which... that's because this bullfrog is here, but then he's not doing anything about the bullfrog, so Kiwi's overwhelming forces going to win out the day. Kiwi dropping down the proxy barracks, and Tingu following it up with his own proxy barracks, throwing down the crusher crane. Never a, well, I don't want to say never a bad choice, but definitely not a bad choice in this situation. And no, I thought Kiwi was expanding up here. I was like, ooh, sneaky Kiwi going to be taking 2 more expansions that would give him an enormous economic ledge over his opponent. But we do have 3 MiGs, so a small strike force, 3 MiGs, 2 twin blades, going to be not able to do anything to this twin blade really with just those 2. Wow, that twin blade went down surprisingly fast, or that bullfrog went down surprisingly fast. Not able to do very much damage, so I guess I overestimated the power of the bullfrog. This ore collector will go down as Tingu is just a little bit too far away to really do anything about it. 1 more salvo of rockets should be able to finish it off, maybe even before then, and there we go. So, Kiwi being a little bit aggressive with his, you know, just a few units, able to do some harassment to that interesting placement of his flak cannon. You might expect to see it a little bit more down here, but this does give a better range of protection, although I think if they sit over here, they will be out of range of that flak turret. I'm, of course, speaking of the twin blades, and Tingu, you know, chasing him around with his, ooh, he was able to get one of the twin blades there. Good on Tingu there, but Tingu trying to chase around the twin blades with his bullfrogs. Kiwi, you know, he was able to take out a refinery, force that 1,400 credits to rebuild it, and also lost mining time. So that's putting Kiwi further and further ahead. Both of these players have dropped down their naval yards. If you did not see, we do have 1 Akula sub out of Tingu, and nothing so far out of Kiwi, although Kiwi does have the stronger ground army from the looks of it. Although Tingu is not that far behind. Has he, did he ever rebuild? He never did rebuild that airfield. Oh, yes he did, it's right there. So actually he did rebuild that airfield, which means the production units, or the production capabilities of both of these players are pretty even, and actually, with this Akula sub here, he may be able to know, he's probably not going to be able to take down the naval yard before that his own Akula sub finishes from Kiwi. But do we have a second one on the way? It does look like it. But now we have Akula sub versus Akula sub, and terror drone. That Akula sub getting locked down nearly immediately, might be able to finish. No, was and Tingu or Kiwi just throwing down power plants and canceling them, forcing this Akula sub to not be able to attack. And there's nothing really Tingu can do about this. His Akula sub is going to go down. The terror drone did go down there as well, and the refinery was not lost either, but we do have a battle on land, and surprising amount of infantry out of both of these players. They did, you know, power vehicles for a little while and then were able to get out some infantry. We do have bears and terror drones, so just a motley crew of units from both of these players, and that bear doing a little bit of a jig, but the superior tank numbers from Kivi might allow him to win out the day, although his army is getting split up, and we do have orbital drop coming down on top of Tingu. Can he move out of the way? He looks like he will lose that one Tesla trooper, but a bear went down there as well, so both of these players are going to be retreating. No, Kivi is going to be pushing on, going to try and do some more damage, and we have another Akula sub out of Tingu, and now it looks even. I'm guessing both of these players already used their special ability, but this Twin Blade from Kivi will help end Tingu's assault, his secondary assault, and now we have another small engagement. These tanks were able to pull back a little bit, but we don't have any base defenses going down from either of these players. The MCV did pull back to somewhere, not sure where quite yet, as I am totally missing that. Maybe he sold it off or dropped it into the crusher crane. That wouldn't be too unsurprising. That wouldn't be too surprising. I don't even think unsurprising is a word. But we do have another and single Akula subs. They're fairly powerful, but when this Twin Blade is sitting right here able to do that damage, it's not going to be able to do a whole lot, that single Akula sub, that is. But Kivi pushing in here, losing a lot of units. He's losing a surprising amount of units. It does look like Tingu is doing a better job of focus firing down the actual units that are doing damage versus the buildings, which, you know, that's good that Kivi is focus firing down those units and able to keep them from, you know, building anything else, but he is losing a lot of units at the same time, and I'm not sure who came out ahead in that battle. And power down for Tingu. He needs to be dropping down another power plant right there, going to be dropping that reactor, trying to hold off this army. He's got a single conscript doing some damage to that building, because that building will of course give those units an additional, and Kivi flushed out that building, then took it for himself. No flak troopers in there, so he wasn't able to do any real damage, and that Telsa trooper was able to get the kill there, and now we have an Akula sub. So yeah, our purple Soviet player Tingu did get his Akula sub cleaned up, and now Kivi, free reign on the water, might be able to take out this ore refinery, especially with the help of that Twin Blade which left. So if the Twin Blade comes over here, and it's the exact same situation, okay, no, it's no longer the exact same situation reversed. I was going to say, it's almost the exact same situation reversed, because we had, you know, the Akula sub being produced for Kivi, while Tingu was attacking with a single Akula sub, and then the Akula sub and Twin Blade ended up defeating Tingu. And we do have this Terror Drone rushing ahead, and is he going to, how is he not able to get the capture there? I'm kind of surprised that he wasn't able to. He would have had to at least pull that tank back to the crusher crane, and now with the toxic dump and plus doing damage to this barracks, I guess he's just going to leave the barracks. No, he does turn around, going to finish it off right there. It does get a veteran hammer tank, so kind of surprising to see that there. And we do have the force fire going down. It did look like, although this may not be force fire, does look like was trying to do some damage with a V4 rocket, not able to do it, and this V4 out of position. Where are you going? Turn around, Tingu, stop your V4. If it gets too much further, it's just gonna actually, if this thing ends up like winning him the game, that will be absolutely hilarious. And we do have the Akula able to take down the refinery. Neither player has still yet to expand to up here. Either player has yet to expand to up there. And the Akula sub is most likely going to go down, as this one is fresh out of the naval yard and with more HP, although this one is elite, I believe is what it's called. And the V4 rocket launcher, Kivi never did anything to stop it, and now he is going to be able to get off some shots. He was able to take down, I believe, what was a hammer tank. If he could take down this hammer tank, that would actually be pretty nice. And he's just raining fire, and Kivi's just not doing anything about it, which is a fair mistake. Because, you know, he should know, hey, you know, I got stuff shooting me. But he was busy up here trying to capture that ore refinery and dropping down the orbital satellites, going to be doing some damage to that wall. And it did look like he sold off. It did look like Tingu was able to sell off that refinery. But Tingu needs to be making use of this V4 rocket, although, you know, even if it's just hitting these buildings, that is of course going to be nice, going to cost money in repairs, and canceling, did he pack up, no, he didn't pack up his MCV, but canceling that ore refinery, I guess he just didn't have the cash. V4 rocket does pull back, so good control by Tingu, not letting his unit get totally owned by this army as it was moving forward a little bit. And we do have another Akula sub out of Tingu and good on Kiwi using his special ability to do maximum damage, as there's no way that that sub was going to win that battle. And no, Kiwi, oh man, that Akula sub actually took damage from Kiwi's sub, and Kiwi's sub was actually able to escape, I guess. And now we have Twin Blades and Bullfrog support going to take out this Akula sub if they can. They need to kind of lure it out of the water so that they can kill it with this sub. Lure it with this sub. And now we have Bullfrog versus Twin Blades battles, and now Tingu and Kiwi, whose Akula sub is going to win. I think Tingu's will, just because it is elite, and yes, it does get full veterancy. I believe that is heroic status. And now the Bullfrog is going to be running back to the Crusher Crane. Can he make it in time, as that will be annoying to have a Terror Drone in the midst of your army killing all your stuff. And will he? Yes, that Terror Drone, oh, he gets locked down. No, he doesn't get locked down immediately. He got locked down for just a second there, and now the Naval Yard will most likely go down for Tingu, and now that Terror Drone was taken out by that Crusher Crane, and now we do have, most likely, assuming, oh no! The Akula sub gets sniped by the Terror Drone. Kiwi not letting it go down. I was about to say it's going to be even on the economy because it will get taken down by Tingu, but no, Kiwi's control too good with that Terror Drone, able to take down Tingu's sub. But now Tingu is on the hunt. He wants to kill that Terror Drone. He's pissed, and he's got a Dreadnought to show it, and he might even be able to take down that Naval Yard before that Akula sub finishes, as I am assuming that's what is being built. We do have V4 rockets taking down the buildings. It does look like he might be bombarding. No, he does go for the Naval Yard, and then he might start bombarding this army, as the army is going to be moving forward, and we do have Apocalypse tanks. And also these two V4s for Kiwi going to be raining down fire onto this Dreadnought. Dreadnought can, of course, just run away over here. And building a second Naval Yard, an interesting choice for Kiwi. I'm guessing this is just to kind of distract these units and give them something to shoot at besides this refinery. And the Terror Drone, getting another Kiwi, so good with the Terror Drones this game, infecting so many units with them. And where's the Twin Blade? They're over here, so they might be able to get that Terror Drone. Okay, now what happened? That was an infected unit, right? It looked like an infected unit. And we've got toxin drops going all over the place, V4s going all over the place, and stuff blowing up everywhere. And one V4 does go down, almost two, and using that special ability to split the heads of the rockets. I forget what that is called, but locking down the Bullfrogs kind of went in ahead and kind of got knocked or got out of place and ended up getting eliminated, and they were able to chase off the Twin Blades. So good control by Kiwi, but Tingu it looks like he's just going to be able to run over this army and just crushing two hammer tanks there in nearly no time at all. Oh, both Apocalypse tanks do get locked down by that single Tesla Trooper. So Kiwi with the control on the Tesla Trooper and the Terror Drone inside of that Apocalypse tank, getting taken down. It does look like Kiwi might be able to come out ahead in this battle. It's so hard to tell. And locking down two more hammer tanks and the third Apocalypse tank. Kiwi doing well with just a few units. And now we do have Akula sub versus Dreadnought. Who will win? I don't think it's going to be the Dreadnought, although versus these buildings, the Dreadnought will, of course, own them. And what happened to that Tesla Trooper? Got hit by something, possibly a V4 rocket of some sort. Possibly he's just dancing? I don't know. That Tesla Trooper maybe got hit by a Terror Drone, but that would be nearly impossible. I have no idea. And Stingray versus Akula sub, taking out his own Stingray, sacrificing it for the greater good. A little bit of a misfire just by accident from Tingu, and now who's going to win? Who's going to be able to eliminate the other unit first? The single Twin Blade attacking the Akula, or the Akula attacking the Dreadnought? It would be absolutely devastating to lose that Dreadnought, and he does lose it! And an heroic, well, not a heroic, but a dual chevron, possibly epic Akula sub going to be doing a little bit more damage, and also a heroic Tesla Trooper going to be able to take down that, take down the Battle Lab for Tingu. And now Tingu is in a bit of a spot, as he did lose that Crusher Crane. He did already get rid of his MCV, probably into that Crusher Crane, and now he's going to lose another refinery or another harvester. And now we've got Apocalypse tanks eating Hammer tanks, Apocalypse tanks eating Apocalypse tanks, and Terror drones from Tingu yet again. And it does look like Kivi killing his own Apocalypse tank, kind of. He was able to do some damage to the other Apocalypse tank. And now the MCV, I absolutely hate it when that happens. My MCV gets totally locked down, and that epic, that dual chevron, Akulis up does go down, and basically every unit in this little battle here is Terror drone, but the MCV survives. Okay. Woo! Kivi loses the MCV. Tingu was able to take it out at the last second. Good control by Tingu, and it does get the Terror drone. So Tingu's Twin Blades and Kivi's Twin Blades both taken apart in the last bit of that battle, able to almost completely eliminate both armies, and now we do have a dual chevron and a heroic Twin Blade, possibly two heroic Twin Blades, which could win this game for Tingu, but Kivi is certainly not out of it yet, and Natasha could make an epic comeback for Kivi. We're going to have to see. Kivi does have the superior number of Twin Blades and possibly also in MiGs, but we do have two almost heroic. Let's see, still not heroic Twin Blades out of Tingu, and now Natasha is on the move, going to be selling off that barracks. Or maybe there never was a barracks there, and I'm just hallucinating. We do have a little bit of moving out from Tingu and getting the MiGs, possibly the best choice considering that this attack force is being flown around, and Natasha is in there somewhere. And then attack force somewhere, possibly over here. Cannot tell who, and I don't really want to switch over because I might miss something like this, ore collector going down, and these ore mines still not quite mined out for, I'm assuming, either of these players, although this one is depleted, which means that this one is most likely as well. Yes, so original ore mines are almost mined out for these players, which will mean that they give significantly less amount of ore per trip. And, Natasha got so close to being eliminated there, and now both of the MiGs do go down. But Tingu knows that what's up, he knows that there's an attack force, and actually Natasha getting into the Bullfrog. So an interesting way to do that. We do have Bullfrog Engineer, or Bullfrog Natasha, but there's nothing up here to kill, so those Twin Blades are kind of out of position, and now this gives us a chance for these Twin Blades to roll up here, and not able to actually do any damage, as Kivi did turn that around. Didn't actually lose that ore collector. I thought he was going to, but I guess the Twin Blades either got eliminated or had to turn around. And no, they did not get eliminated. We saw them just a moment ago, and here they are right over here, going to be heading to the rescue, and the MiG is here. Will he be able to eliminate one of these? No, he wasn't able to get either of the Bullfrogs, so good control by Kivi. Tingu, of course, wants to focus down the weakened ones, but he also wants to focus down the ones that are carrying the Bullfrogs, because 2 for 1 is a pretty good deal, especially in Red Alert 3, and especially when, 750 there, depleted there, and money is basically running out for all of the mines that these players are on, except for this one. This one, Tingu does have an advantage in that he does have that mine, and actually if he re-expands here, that will give him a fair amount of cash on hand as well. And Natasha, do note that Natasha is still in one of these Bullfrogs, can get launched out at any time to do massive amounts of damage, possibly to take out this super reactor while the Twin Blades are doing something else and distracting Tingu, or at least Tingu's army, from Natasha. But they do back out. We got some Bullfrogs to take out the Twin Blades, and then Twin Blades somewhere around the map. Here they are to take out the Bullfrogs, although that is not a situation you want to be in. Spoiler alert! You don't want to be taking out Bullfrogs with Twin Blades necessarily, especially not when you can be doing other stuff with them, like taking out ore collectors like this one up here. Oh, this base is so ripe for the Twin Blade, especially considering the closest Bullfrogs are over here. And now a Sputnik. So where's the Sputnik going to be going? If he's going over here, it's going to be spotted almost immediately by Tingu, and no, the Sputnik just holding position. He could expand up here and then base creep over a bit. That would be kind of expensive, though. Twin Blades escaping the wrath of the bullfrogs, and now we just have this ring around the rosy going on, switching almost immediately to that armor position for that ore collector, and it might allow him to survive until the bullfrogs can show up, and bullfrog's able to take down one, not two, no, is he gonna get it? No, yes, we got Migs here now, and oh, Natasha gets launched out, so is she going to get taken down immediately by this Tesla coil? But the bullfrogs, where are they? Where are the bullfrogs? What are the bullfrogs doing? They need to be taking down these Kiwis. Oh, and the twin blades are able to get down Natasha. Natasha not able to do anything, so all of those credits were completely wasted, and the MCV is sitting over here right for the terror drone. And whatever happened to that Sputnik? Oh, is it up here? Yes, he is going to be expanding, possibly trying to throw down in the middle and then base creep out each way, but again, that can get rather expensive, especially as the money starts to dry up, and terror drone from Tingu going to be taking down a bullfrog. This bullfrog has no business being there, and look at Tingu, he says, you know what, I'm just going to expand to my, enemy's third, or in this case, fourth ore mine, and that one does have 18,500, so between his remaining ore mines, he does have a fair amount of damage, or this army is going to be doing a fair amount of damage, but he does have a fair amount of money left with 2 Apocalypse tanks. What does Tingu have to come back from this? I don't think he has much in the way of oh, that's right, he did lose that battle lab earlier, so he has terror drones coming out, which terror drones could be very, very effective, but he's not going to be able to set up that expansion with that. Oh, if he can get that Sputnik, that would be a big deal, but that he can't set up that expansion with the V4, but if he can infect that Sputnik, which it does know he's not going to, but if he could have, that would have completely locked down that expansion, and of course caused Kiwi to force him to rebuild that. And it does look like, even though the bullfrog is about to die, he's still firing off his guns, doing his best to fight for the motherland and all that. And oh, the humanity, that's not even right. But we do have now a heroic MiG possibly going to be able to take down Tingu's twin blade. Was able to get it and escape the wrath of the bullfrogs, but look at this, we do have the V4 and 2 of the bullfrogs, both infected by terror drones. I keep wanting to say twin blades, but twin blades do not really infect things all that much. And and oh, able to get the Apocalypse tank, and not able to get the second Apocalypse tank, as that is a Kiwi terror drone. And still, these buildings being garrisoned a little bit, being a little bit useful. Can he get back to the Crusher Crane, which was, yes, it's all the way up here, may be able to make it. Apocalypse tanks do have a significant amount of health, but I do not think they're going to be able to make it. And this terror drone needs to be eliminated by Tingu. He needs to sacrifice that bullfrog so that he does not get eliminated. Does have his terror drone there to lock the terror drone down. Does get eliminated by the Tesla coil. And oh, flying the Apocalypse tank, probably the only real option in this situation. Flying it. Oh, is he gonna lose it? He will. He just barely loses it. And it kind of looked like that terror drone infected the twin blade. I'm not sure exactly what happened there. There was like a Tesla trooper, I think, and a whole bunch of crap happened. But Kiwi did lose that Apocalypse tank, which is the important part. That is what Tingu needed, and Tingu on a little bit of a sneaky mission. What is he going to be doing? And so that Sputnik was able to deploy and get that expansion up for Kiwi. But now, what is he going to be doing with this engineer? It would be kind of strange to see him. Okay, yeah, I was like, he's heading right for that outpost. But oh, this MiG is going to get super lucky and intercept that. No, Tingu is able to fly away, but it's the heroic MiG. Look how much damage. 5 shots able to take down a twin blade. I'm not sure what the normal is, but it does look like he grabs the observation outpost, which why not? He was going to lose that engineer anyways. And now bringing up the bullfrogs. Can Kiwi come back from this? He does have an Apocalypse tank running around the map, and the MCV could very well go down with this heroic twin blade and Apocalypse tank combo. Although if the bullfrog, no, the bullfrog was not able to get it. Throwing down the barracks. Not sure what this is going to be for, possibly an engineer, but I'm thinking an engineer would basically automatically get taken down, because you could use the engineer to heal that building, but the engineer would get just taken down by the... Ooh, and going to lock down that Apocalypse tank, exactly what he needs, and then going to keep Kiwi's Twin Blades at bay, and what sort of unit is he going to be getting? Possibly a flak trooper for those magnetic mines to help take out that Apocalypse tank. This Apocalypse tank, oh no, he does snipe the Terror Drone. This Apocalypse tank is going to be able to rain fire down. No, getting the Tesla Trooper, a far better option with that special ability, whatever it's called, the Electric Field, EM Disruptor or whatever. Going to be able to lock down this Apocalypse tank, maybe, or just be able to do some damage with it, but he was hoping to, you know, get that out and lock down that Apocalypse tank before it eliminated his MCV, which this game going on. Both of these players still in decent positions. No one has a huge advantage in this. Ore Collector is not going to go down. It is going to be just fine, but look at this, Kiwi taking 2 ore expansions, meaning that, well, these 2 are definitely depleted by now, so both of those are depleted, which I believe they give, like, a quarter the amount of ore on the return when they're depleted, instead of, you know, instead of a full trip, you get, like, a quarter of a trip. I do not think it's half, but that is still a fair amount. Oh, Apocalypse tanks dying. So we do have Apocalypse tanks going down and ore collecting being substantially lessened, I guess, from the depleted ore mines, and actually Kiwi selling off at least one of those ore mines, possibly losing the other one. And now he's just got these up here and this one over here, which this ore mine is depleted as well, and Tingu is in a almost a better spot economically, just because he has these 2 ore mines going in full swing, and then he does have these 2 depleted ones. And of course, at this point, neither of these players do have their oil derricks, as they were both able to eliminate those early on. And Terror Drones running rampant all over the map, able to eliminate a Bullfrog, might even be able to get the Ore Collector. Maybe, I guess not with that adaptive armor special ability, and he is able to get that, that's not what I wanted to see. I wanted to see this, because I don't remember what it's called. It's called reactive armor, but we do have the Terror Drone infection of, oh, and he does get the Ore Collector, and this Ore Collector is just sitting there doing nothing, kind of getting locked down from fear from that Terror Drone, but we do have the Bullfrog does go down, the Ore Collector will most likely go down, going to get in maybe one more trip of ore. No, it's not in anything, and it is going to die. Wasn't able to even finish off how much of that ore. And the Terror Drone does go down. That was a heroic Terror Drone transferred into the Twin Blade, and now Terror Drone getting locked down by a Terror Drone, and it's mutual now. So we do have Tingu actually able to eliminate Kiwi's Terror Drone, as he does have that Terror Drone surprise support power. You could call it the top secret protocol. And now we have Terror Drone locking down Terror Drone again, and these Twin Blades out of Tingu, going to be able to eliminate it, but not with that. Oh, the heroic MiG does get chased away by those Bullfrogs, and now this Ore Collector is infected yet again. Actually, I don't know if that's again, but just he's infected and locked down. So Tingu able to win the game. Kiwi was defeated there. He didn't have much in the way of army, and he just had both of his expansions cleaned up, so I can't say that I blame him. I wouldn't say that there were any huge blunders, as we did move into this nearly 30-minute match, 30 minutes and 49 seconds. There weren't any huge mistakes from either of these players, I would say, although I may have missed something. We do have resources. Tingu actually leading that entire game. I'm kind of surprised to see that, but Kiwi was able to play a fair game, play a standard game, play a strong game, and actually really close unit kill-to-death ratio by both of these players. I rarely see something that close, especially in a matchup like this going on this long. But a good Soviet versus Soviet on Cabana Republic. This is Sybert, signing out.